Hello, everyone. Dr. Victoria Skirbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. I want to take a look at what's going on in Iran. At the moment, there was a young woman that was killed in, I guess, police custody. She was taken in because she was wearing her hijab in an inappropriate way, or maybe some hair was sticking out or something. And she was picked up by, I guess it's the morality police, and was killed in custody or died in custody. And the autopsy said that she had a fractured skull. So um, it was obviously some sort of foul play going on. The woman was 22 years old. Her name is Masha Amani. Masha Amani, a name that we need to keep in our hearts. And hopefully, this is the type of thing that is going to change things for the better for women and men in Iran. It is being met with violence. So far, they believe 100 and maybe 40 Iranians have been killed in protests. The protests aren't going anywhere. There are young women cutting off their hair, taking off their hijab, and the people who, the generation that is sort of pushing this forward is the 25-year-olds, that generation of Iranian um, young people, many women, and the men who support them. So I want to take a look and see how what's going to happen in Iran as a result of this, what's in store for the Iranian people and the government of Iran. I'm going to do, I have a date of birth on her. Her birthday is July 22nd, 2000. And I will do a little Kabbalah on her, but that I think I'm going to put on my Patreon page. So if you're interested in those connections, you can become a member of my Patreon. All right, so let's take a look. Money and oops. All right, the immediate environment, yeah, is the Hierophant. So we have, oops, I'm using this background. Hopefully it's not too confusing. It's pretty though, right? We have the Hierophant here. So this is a test. The Hierophant is associated with the body of a government. So we have the government right here, right front and center. What's challenging that? This is something that has spurred the Iranian people and especially the young people to stand up. But there's a lot of problems in Iran, mostly due to not having a whole lot of financial opportunity because of sanctions against Iran. And while this death of this young girl is definitely the thing that sort of sparked it, I think what underlies it is the people are just tired of not having opportunity, not having opportunity. The other thing also, the challenge here, well, the challenge is financial somehow. Okay, let's see what's at the root of this. At the root of this situation, we have the Two of Wands. This is calling out to people. So what, as I said, this is a name we need to keep on our lips. We need to put energy into the cause of this in a way, the cause for not being told like how to wear your hat which seems ridiculous to a lot of people who live in societies where they can wear anything on their head. But what's the difference between wearing a hijab the right way or having to give birth to a child that you may not be ready to have, or a child of rape or incest? So it is all about sort of autonomy. It's issues of autonomy, especially issues of autonomy for women who tend to have less autonomy than men. But autonomy is autonomy. People want to be self-directive. And at the root of this, we see the two of wands. And this is um, a call out to people of other lands to see the situation, to want to be open to new ideas and move out of the theocracy or the limits of a theocracy. I was listening to an Iranian um, dissident, I guess. He had been a political prisoner and now he's in England and he works for, I think, an organization that tells us what's going on in Iran, like a news organization. And he says it's not religion that they have an issue with, but it's telling people that they have to follow a certain sort of type or direction within that religion that they have issue with. Let's see what's in the past. So we have discontent. So there's been a lot of discontent. This is divine discontent. They're so sort of um, caught up in their own situation that they're not necessarily seeing something that's being offered to them. But certainly they're not happy. Even the people who have more than others are not happy with the situation. This is usually the divine discontent, but this guy's pretty well dressed. So it's not like just the poor people are in a position of not being satisfied with what's going on, but people who are in higher station as well. In the sky, we have the magician. We have the magician. Um, the magician is about focused intention. The magician is about focused intention, and it can also be about manipulation. Manipulation. So I'm going to leave it there and see what else comes up because I'm not exactly sure what that card means yet. And here we have the Princess of Cups. This is Amani. This is Amani, young girl, emotional. Um, does she have, this woman have a hat on? She kind of has a hat on. Like it's not a hijab, but like she definitely has a hat on. This is a message coming from the young people, coming from the women. We're going to continue to hear about it. It's not going anywhere. Um, People are yearning to be free, and especially young people. If you think about what their future looks like, you don't even have to go to Iran to say what's your future going to look like. You know, you just have to, I mean, live in Fort Myers, right? You can see what the future is going to look like. It's going to be different and it's going to be, you know, in some cases ferocious. And we have to start making choices that are going to protect and nurture our young people instead of sending them into a world that's on the brink of collapse. How it's seen from the outside, change, a change in the government, actually, the change, creating change. Now it's interesting because back in 2010, we had the Arab Spring, and that actually started in, I think it was Tunisia, when a fruit peddler uh, lit himself on fire because he didn't see any reason or any prospects for him in his life. He was a young man. I think he was in his 20s as well. And that started the whole um, uprising, the the Arab Spring, which ended up, causing a lot of uh, change and tumult and revolution. Most of the resolution was quelled by um, authoritarian uh, regimes such as the one in Egypt. Also, and I don't think it got very far. Although I think Tunisia did get some women in their government through that, but there was a lot of and then of course there was Syria that was started with the Arab Spring, and that of course was crushed by Putin and Assad, and of course much suffering has happened. So they have been, as a group, um, these sort of Arab countries have been attempting to free themselves from these very repressive regimes. So this is not the first time. The interesting thing I find is that back when that happened in 2010, Jupiter was in Aries. And now Jupiter is in Aries again. It's going to go back into Pisces. It's retrograde now. It's going to go back into Pisces. But that Jupiter and Aries energy of the expansion of the rights of the individual, it sort of starts its own sort of revolution. And I believe that this is part of that. When she was killed, Jupiter was in Aries. So, all right, let's see. The domestic situation. We have rest, recovery. This could also be, um, it's not just rest and recovery. It could be that you're put in a place, some not particular like a prison, but not as maybe negatively connoted as a prison. Um, you know, sit and think about what you did. That kind of situation. They're going to try to quell. They're also going to try to quell the information coming out. They're going to try to quiet things down. Let's see. Hopes and fears, the tower. I think, oops, sorry. I think, oh, that's interesting, right? It just sort of disappeared. Ooh, sorry. Um, this, I think, is the hope of the young people to get out of the tower of oppression and the terror of the people in charge. So, okay, so we have the judgment card. So people are rising up. This isn't going anywhere. This is going to continue. This is definitely going to continue. And underneath it is we have the Ace of Cups. We have the Prince of Cups. And we have the Empress, which is the energy of the divine feminine. The divine feminine is rising in Iran, and it is going to. It's not going. It's not. It's not stopping. It's not stopping. I think it will continue. Um, okay, let me ask another question. Let's see. Because of this, are things going to improve for the Iranian people? Is this going to force an improvement? Because they're not going to change. They're not going to sleep with this. They are awake now. They are awakened and they're not going anywhere. So it's not like they're going to be able to crush this rebellion and put it underground. Um, and of course, there could be some connection to, places like Egypt. They had their revolution But we had, in the United States, we have a good relationship with Egypt. So when Mubarak got out and then this new guy got in, and then I think they got rid of him because he was the Islamic Brotherhood, and they got somebody else in. I think it was a military coup. Honestly, I'm apologize for not knowing the details on that, but this is my understanding of it. But they were allies of us. And so I think that when you're our ally, you have less of a chance to actually be free in the case, at least in the case of in the case of Egypt. But because Iran is considered an enemy of the United States can use this as a sort of jumping off point to further destabilize the country. So that could be why the magician was up top. So there's a possibility of using your focus to help certain outcomes to come out. So we'll see. So let's see if this is going to actually help the women and then the people of Iran. We have the King of Cups here. King of Cups. So this is the sometimes loving father. This is a Cancer card. She was a Cancer. Let's see if it helps. Let's see the crossing. The Hanged Man. I feel like this, I don't know the Ayatollah who's in charge. I think he's 95. I don't know what sign he is, but this seems to me like this is him, this white-haired gentleman with the funny hat. The guy has white hair. He's got a funny hat. He's got a beard. The guy's got a beard. I mean, this is probably the Grand Khomeini, or sorry, I don't know the name. I don't know the proper term. So no disrespect on anyone. And this feeling hung up. The need to look at something from a different perspective. Oh yeah, the sun is rising. At the root, we have the sun, illumination. In the past, we have the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups, oops. Okay. In the sky, the Nine of Wands. They're not going to go down without a fight, I'll tell you that. This government is not going down with a fight. Victory. Is this victory for the people or victory for the leader? How it's seen from the outside, the Princess of Pentacles. This is new opportunities, messages. They could use this as leverage. People in more power than Iran could use this as leverage to open things up in Iran. But of course, there's always something, right? Iran has a lot of oil, so we have to think about that. Domestic situation, the Eight of Swords, the Sword of Justice. It's definitely a fight. It's definitely a fight. Hopes and fears that it will be quelled, and the outcome, will it be better for the people of Iran? Well, it's certainly let's see what's underneath it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I want to say yes. I want to say yes. Because the tower does free us from constraints and expectations that other people have on us to a certain extent. So underneath it, we have the Prince of Swords, the Eight of Cups, and the Devil, which I don't like. So these three underneath says it is possible that they can actually suppress this, but it's going to take a lot of effort. And in the suppression of it, I think they're going to destroy themselves. So let's send light in that direction. Let's pray or put our intentions for the illumination necessary to bring peace to the people. And whatever that means, that can mean, getting rid of the morality police, or just being more open, um, to to the future, to um, kind of what the people want. It's very complex, I think, but that's what I see. So they're going to continue to do it, but I think the government is going to fight till the very end. But I think ultimately it's going to bring the government down. I guess the question is how much pain and suffering is going to happen. When I went to college, I had a few Iranian friends, um, and they were just the nicest people, and beautiful, beautiful people, so intelligent. Um, I never really got the enemy thing with them, but when you have personal experience with a group of people, and of course, people are not the government, right? so so here's hoping, but her death is certainly not in vain. This is the next Arab Spring, perhaps, but maybe this is based on the feminine. We have to show solidarity to people who are striving to be free, whether they're a friend or an enemy, right? So, all right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I'll do a couple more. This is a political tarot, one at a time. Okay, guys, take care. Much love. Namaste.